We are back on Morning Line. Thanks for joining us. Nick Barris here on a Monday, 2 days after the devastating floods hit just east of the city here over in Humphreys County, or excuse me, west of the city, in Humphreys County, McCune City, Waverly City. A lot of them got record-setting rainfall, and Sky 5's images of the damage in the aftermath as there's so much work to be done now. And as I was telling to Leland, and we want to take your phone calls, 737-7587. If you live in this area, you've been through your share of disasters. I maintain, having sat through and covered many of these, that floods are the worst. And the death toll, 22, is what we understand. It looks like just under 20, according to our conversation with the sheriff at the beginning of the show now. At one point, there were more than 40 unaccounted for. Now it's under 20, and he's hopeful that more people who have information on the missing, and there's a list online of the names of the people missing. If they're accounted for, please call and let the sheriff know. If they're still missing, let them know that as well, as they'll continue searching the area, for any survivors or possibly bodies. Let's go back to the phone lines, and we'll go next to James. James, good morning. Hi, James.
Good morning to you on this sunny but sad day.
Yes, yep.
I've got two comments.
Okay.
I got into the show a little bit later. Somebody might have already mentioned this, but here goes. Two comments. The first one is, why doesn't the Tennessee National Guard have 1,000 boots on the ground with trucks, tents, tractors, generators, and medical stations? And the other comment is, the Army Corps of Engineers need to deepen, widen, and fortify that creek that keeps running over. It'll accept more rain runoff.
Yep.
That's all I got.
I gotcha. Listen, those are two good questions, James. I can't give you a definitive answer on the National Guard. I think that is an option. Were some of them there yesterday? They toured it yesterday. All right. So the governor was there yesterday along with some lawmakers, and they toured it, and it's definitely a disaster area. At some point here, aside from federal aid, there'll be state aid, and my guess is, if needed for the cleanup as we move forward, the Guard may be called in. That's a distinct possibility. The issue right now, at least it's still acute, is finding the remaining missing. And so I'm not sure that they've gotten to that point yet, but I'm not ruling that out as a possibility, and certainly the governor is well aware of the situation. So that, who knows, could be announced today. As far as the Army Corps of Engineers and the creek, look, you're right, and that area is flooded. But what we're seeing here, in part because of global warming and other issues like building in floodplains and lack of area where water can go, are historic floods happening in a non-historic manner. I mean, the flood 10 years ago, or I guess 11 years ago here in Nashville, was considered the 1,000-year flood. Well, we just got, 11 years later, another 1,000-year flood there in Humphreys County. So something has changed. We get periods now of, instead of light drizzle over a period of days, a deluge in one day. And it's devastating. So I don't disagree with him that creek and where you build and depth, but I don't know, when you're getting 17 inches in 5 hours, whether or not that makes a difference with that little creek that flooded and washed out those apartments that swept away those kids. I just don't know. I mean, what do you do in situations like this? I think at this point, I'm going to think twice before I live near any body of water, like a creek or something like that, because in this day and age, floods are going to happen, and I don't know how you stop it. Nature is changing, folks. Let's go to Joe. Joe, good morning. Hi, Joe.
Hello, Nick.
Hey.
Hey, I'm just listening. I've been around 80 years, and I've never witnessed the devastation that we're having with these floods and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's just so out of the ordinary. I can't really understand it. Besides that, and the COVID, and these fires other places, I just can't comprehend what's happening. It's a regular thing, and they used to, like you said, maybe every so many years you'd have a flood, but nothing to this magnitude and loss of life. And it's just baffling to me that even beside the United States and other places, these things are happening. And it's hard to understand what's going on here. I don't know the answer to it.
Well, I think you do.
Seven.
I think you do. I mean, the climate is changing. Now, with regard to COVID and things like that, that's different. But these fires and the drought that leads to the fires and extreme rain like this, anyone who doesn't think there's climate change has their head in the sand, okay? Anyone who doesn't think some of these extreme temperatures and weather patterns we're seeing, anyone who says, oh, it's just a cycle, it comes around, you're wrong. And listen to Joe here. He's been around for more than 80 years and has never seen anything like this. Things are changing climate-wise, and it's not good. Joe, would you agree?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
I'm tired of people disagreeing with that, and frankly, they're all wrong.
I don't. I mean, I've been in the hospital, and my wife's in the hospital, and they don't even have room.
I'm sorry.
She's been in the emergency room since yesterday today, and she's still there, and they don't even have a room to put her in.
And she's
So
not
these
there
people-
for she's not there for COVID, is she?
No.
She's there for
But that-
something else, but the COVID patients are taking up all the space.
Well, they don't even have room for COVID patients.
I know, but all the beds are taken by COVID patients.
Well, that's what's causing it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't seem to realize these people are not getting their vaccinations, and
They're selfish.
wearing
They are
masks.
selfish. They're selfish.
They're I don't know. I mean, just like a guy like Phil Valentine. There's a guy was in good health, I think.
Yeah, it's tragic.
And he's dead
Yep.
because he didn't get a shot. I mean, what is wrong with people's minds?
I don't know. And Joe, listen, I'm sorry to hear about your wife and your situation there. Yeah, and that's a whole different issue. But what's wrong with people's minds? It is scary sometimes when you consider the decisions people make and what they're based on, be it politics, incredibly stupid stuff that is shared. And people are saying, no, I'm not going to go for a vaccine, and they're injecting themselves with a parasitic used in horses, to kill parasites. I have a friend whose father was a veterinarian and said, no, I don't trust the vaccine. I'm gonna take care of myself with vitamin D and this horse parasitic. He's on his deathbed in the hospital right now with COVID. How did that horse parasitic work? He doesn't have worms, but he's got COVID. Mind-numbing. Absolutely mind-numbing. And the tragedy of Phil Valentine, someone I know, and that's very sad. And he, after he got sick, changed his mind and, through his family said that he wanted to be vaccinated. But, before he got it, I don't know that he would have listened to someone else in his same situation telling him that. And it cost Phil Valentine his life. We're going to take a break. When we come back, more of your calls as we're talking about the flood right after this.